I got my first glimpse of the Grand Teton Mountains from about 100 miles out. And they're these massive granite slabs. They stick up like shark's teeth out of a flat basin. And my heart skipped a beat because I'm not much of a climber. And my girlfriend Margaret and I were with our friends John and Kevin. And they've just returned from Alaska, where they've summited Denali, the highest mountain in North America. And so we jumped in the car from Colorado, where we were living, to Wyoming. And John said, Teton's not a technical climb. And I said, technical? And he said, yeah, there's not a lot of vertical scaling or fancy rope work. And I thought, yeah, I'm young, invincible. This is something I could do. And Kevin, he said, there is a lot of exposure. I said, exposure? And he said, yeah, it's basically a walk up, but one misstep could be a 3,000-foot drop. And yeah, we're walking this path, and it's a narrow ledge, sometimes actually crawling through like a thin crack, and on one side is a fall that is certain death. And my heart is beating, but it's a thrill. I like overcoming this fear. And we reach a point, and John says, we have a decision to make. Are we going to go for the summit today? This is the last pitch. We should talk about it and make a decision. And we weigh the factors. It's pretty late in the day, and the sun has gotten low, and they're calling for some weather, some storms. But it's unanimous. We want to go for the summit. And I'm all in, and so is the inner voice. I mean, I want to see the top of this mountain. We've come this far. And we do, and it's beautiful. I can see this view all the way out onto the plain where we come from. And but we don't linger, because now we can see the sun getting low, and we can actually see the cells of storms, the thunderstorms, moving across the plain toward us. So it's definitely time to go home. And the route down is a little different than the route up. There's, I guess you could say, a shortcut. It's a 125-foot rappel. And John says, it's a free rappel. Free? And he said, yeah, it's a ledge, and once you go over, you can't touch the wall at all. You're just on the rope, letting yourself down. And Kevin says, you're going to be scared while you're up there, but the thing is, you want to control your descent with the rope below your harness. You don't want to hold on to the rope above the harness, because when you go over the ledge, the rope and your body weight is going to hit the rock, and you'll hurt your hand. So I'm up there, and my heart is beating now, and the adrenaline is going now, and I do it. I swing off this ledge, but I'm too scared to take my hand off the rope, so my hand hits, and it opens up my knuckles, and I see the blood running down my hand, but I don't feel the pain. I just see the blood, and I let myself down to the bottom, and the adrenaline is going, and my hand is bleeding, and my heart is beating, and I feel great. I mean, I feel alive. We've done this thing, and this is it. We've done the most difficult part. Now it's just a walk down to the base camp where we'll be safe. And John is still at the top, and he has to come down, and they have to coil the rope. So we decide that Margaret and I will walk ahead. We've been the slowest walkers all day, so we'll get a head start. And the walk down from this part is a saddle. If you can imagine a ridgeline between two peaks, and you walk the ridgeline down to the bottom of the U, and then you can access the valley down to the base camp. And so we start walking, and it's getting a little darker, and it's getting a little steeper, and a little darker, and a little steeper, and pretty much at the same time, three things happen. It gets so steep that we can no longer navigate, and we realize that we've drifted off the ridgeline, and we're going down the face of the mountain, straight down into the valley. The second thing is it gets pitch dark, and the storms roll in, and we're getting wet by the rain, and we see lightning. And that's the worst situation, to be up above tree line when it's lightning. And Margaret says to me, what do we do? And I say, I don't know what to do in this situation. And we take a breath, and the storms pass, and we're wet, and we're cold, and the rock is too slippery to go either direction, but we're not in immediate danger anymore. So we decide to stay put. We find a little half cave, and there's an anchor there, so we tie off. Our harnesses are still on, And we huddle there in the cold, and we're wet in our day clothes, and we're shivering. Next thing I know, I'm in my bed at home, and it's morning. I'm a little chilly. I think Margaret is hogging the blanket, and so I go to reach over, and I reach for the blanket, and I kind of give her a little elbow on purpose, because she does this all the time, and I pull the blanket over, and right as I'm pulling it, I realize there is no blanket! I'm not at home in bed, I'm still in this cave, and I've fallen into this daze, hyperthermia, and I jump up, because I read in the book that the worst thing you want to do is go to sleep when your body temperature is dropping, so I jump up, and now I hear someone calling my name, and they're calling, and I'm listening in the wind, and we're here, and I'm listening for them, but it's the wind, and it's just the wind, I realize, and I'm hearing things now, and I'm discombobulated. It becomes a really scary, really muddled, really cold night as we shiver in this cave, sort of in and out of consciousness. And again, I hear my name, and again, I jump up, and I'm about ready to cry because I'm losing it. I don't know what's going on, but this time it's real. The voice is real, and it's the ranger. And John and Kevin, on their way down, they've stopped at the ranger station to check, did our friends come by? And when they hear, no, we haven't seen anyone, they mount a rescue party. And they come up, and the ranger reaches out his hand to help me up, and he has this Ziploc bag with homemade chocolate chip cookies. I take a bite of this cookie, and it is like a full body experience. I feel the sugar hit my bloodstream, and I'm still cold and tired, but I know that we're gonna be okay, and we're not gonna die out here. And I no longer feel invincible or particularly young. But I feel incredibly grateful to our friends and to the Rangers, and I will never forget the taste of that chocolate chip cookie. Thank you.